S26 Ultra is finally launched and we got massive changes with the Galaxy S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. But right now Samsung is offering great deals with the Galaxy S26 Ultra. If you pre-order, you'll get $150 or you can save up to $900 if you trade in your Galaxy S25 Ultra. You get deals with the Buds 4 Pro along with the watch if you pre-order the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Link is in the description below or a pinned comment if you want to get the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Now Samsung made a couple of tweaks with the Galaxy S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra, and top of the list is the privacy display. Everyone is talking about it, but there's one thing no one is talking about except the Mr. Who's the Boss, who actually notices the display on the Galaxy S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. Now, when you enable the privacy display, you will see the brightness drop down significantly compared to the S25 Ultra. Now, there is most important thing, even when you turn off the privacy display, the viewing angles on S26 Ultra is different compared to the S25 Ultra because those wide pixels are still on, but the narrow pixels are pointing straight towards the face. So if you tilt it down, you will see a slight dip in the brightness from a side angles. But when you turn it on, it is one of the best features in the display in the recent years in the smartphone industry. Everyone is talking about it, and we really need such kind of a display update in the Galaxy S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. The brightness level is same on both phones, 2600 nits, and yeah, this is one of the updated display we have on the Galaxy S26 Ultra. This is the M14 panel compared to the M13 on S25 Ultra, and this is the 10-bit display, which is a massive thing because it can show the wide range of colors and it looks good compared to the S25 Ultra. By the way, the price is same, $1299, and you can avail from purchase in this video. The pre-order deals are still on. Now, the next thing, which is more or less people are not talking about it, is actually the heating issue. I was talking about this a lot before Samsung actually launched the phone. Samsung added the bigger vapor chamber in the S26 Ultra. There is not a single issue with the heating of the Galaxy S26 Ultra. We got the overclocked version 4.74 GHz on S26 Ultra, Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, and there is no heating issues with the Galaxy S26 Ultra. And one thing I confirmed like months ago, then Samsung is not bringing back the Bluetooth S Pen on S26 Ultra. No one was talking about it. Yes, I talked about it. Samsung didn't bring out the S Pen on the Galaxy S26 Ultra, and here we are. And now the clickable button is different on the S26 Ultra. You can only put it from a single side. You cannot tilt it and then put it in because it will have a small bump at the edge. Now, another thing which is confirmed, and I already confirmed it a couple of videos ago, that Samsung put the aluminum compared to the titanium on the S25 Ultra. Now, there is a lot of debate going on whether aluminum is better or titanium, but this is what it is. Apple did it, then Samsung followed. The cameras is where things got interesting, and we got samples, and those samples actually shows us what is the difference between the S26 Ultra and the S25 Ultra. Now, this time Samsung go with a more natural tone with the S26 Ultra, and those exposure shots are better maintained on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. Overall specs are almost similar to the S25 Ultra, but there is some software tweaks that Samsung have done with the Galaxy S26 Ultra, and nightography is far better on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra because Samsung did something good with the S26 Ultra, and there is one additional mode, APV mode, to record the raw footages, and you can edit it multiple times and it will not lose the actual thing. And there's one amazing feature with the Galaxy S26 Ultra, lock horizontally. So if you tilt the phone while recording, it will keep the frame still, which is another major thing with the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Now, there are a couple of AI features on the S26 Ultra, and I believe Samsung will give us these features with the Galaxy S25 Ultra. The display is not getting that type of feature because it is built into the display because these are new pixels into the display. So we are not getting that type of a thing, but the other software things are actually coming on the S26 Ultra. And one thing which is now confirmed, Samsung is bringing out the 60-watt fast charging, and according to Samsung, 75% of charge in just 30 minutes, and in real world usage you can go from 0 to 81% in just 30 minutes, and even I said we can get about 91% in just 37 minutes, which is a major bump up compared to the S25 Ultra. These are the updates, and we got specs. Now let's compare the specs of the Galaxy S26 Ultra and S25 Ultra and see what is the difference between both phones. So we got the display on S26 Ultra 6.9 inches, exactly same as S25 Ultra. We got the Gorilla Glass Armor 2nd generation, which is the same as S25 Ultra, and 120Hz panel, which is same as S25 Ultra, although Samsung is using M14 panel on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra, and that privacy display. We got a bunch of new teasers about the Galaxy S26 Ultra, and all of those teasers were showing us the privacy display. It's not just a small update, it's a massive update, and it is built into the display, which means we are not going to see a privacy display feature on S25 Ultra. This could be a sole feature from many people to go with the Galaxy S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra, and even Apple is thinking about using this feature in MacBooks later in 2029. Yes, this feature is really impressive, and Samsung is actually marketing this as really well in multiple teasers. Now, display is aside, we got the new processor on Galaxy S26 Ultra. I'll share numbers later. Right now, let's talk about which processor we are getting. We are getting Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. We're not going to see Exynos 2600 in S26 Ultra because worldwide we are getting Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. It is an overclocked version. We got a really good scores, which I'll talk later in this video. We got 12 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of RAM on S26 Ultra with 3 storage variants, 256 gigs, 512 gigs, and 1TB version, almost similar to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now, the cameras are where things got interesting. Galaxy S26 Ultra almost got similar specs as S25 Ultra, but there are small things that are changed compared to the S25 Ultra. So we got 200 megapixel sensor, which is HP2, same as S25 Ultra, but we got the lower aperture, f1.4 compared to the f1.7 on S25 Ultra. Why it is important? Because the low light imaging on S26 Ultra will be better compared to the S25 Ultra. Even Samsung shared multiple teasers to showcase how the night photography is better on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. The second sensor is also 50 megapixel periscope, but this one is also getting better aperture compared to the S25 Ultra. The third lens, which is a 50 megapixel ultra wide, is exactly same as S25 Ultra. The fourth one, interestingly, the 10 megapixel telephoto sensor is getting smaller sensor compared to the S25 Ultra. 1/3.94 inches sensor, which is smaller compared to the S25 Ultra. Well, a lot of debate are happening why Samsung just gave us a smaller one, but yeah, this is a reality. It is smaller compared to the S25 Ultra. Now, the front camera is getting different. We got 12 megapixel wide angle sensor, but the front camera is getting a wider field of view. We can fit more people on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. And also, the front selfie shooter is bigger compared to the S25 Ultra. We got samples, and yeah, it is true, it is bigger compared to the S25 Ultra. Some people like it and some people don't, but this is a reality. We are getting a wider field of view, but yes, the front selfie shooter is bigger. Now, the battery is something we really need to talk about. Samsung is using the exact same battery on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. Yes, there is no chance we're getting 5200 or even 55. We're just getting 5000 mAh battery confirmed from the official spec sheet. But there's one update, which is the charging speed, 60 watt compared to the 45. Well, honestly speaking, we're not going to see a massive difference in charging speeds, but it is good to see Samsung is actually updating the charging speed. Well, the S26 Plus also got a 45 watt of fast charging, but the base model S26 is stuck at 25 watt, even though the cheaper A series are getting 45 watt. Now, the dimensions are also confirmed, and we are getting 7.9mm thickness compared to the 8.2 on S25 Ultra, so slightly thinner compared to the S25 Ultra. We also got a weight of the phone, which is 214 grams, lighter compared to the S25 Ultra, and yeah, we're getting 4 color options: white, purple, black, and blue, and these are the official colors. We may see some online exclusive color on S26 Ultra, and the pricing in the US market is almost similar compared to the S25 Ultra. The reservation is just started, but they are just giving us $30 instead of $50 Samsung usually gave to the users. Now, let's talk about the design of Galaxy S26 Ultra. Yes, the back camera design is changed, and this thing will wobble on the table like crazy. Even if you put a case on it, this thing will still wobble on the table. The S Pen design is also changed. We got different color options on the S Pen, and even the clickable button is changed on S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. Some people like the design of S26 Ultra and other like the S25 Ultra, but that cheap looking camera rings on S25 Ultra are no more on S26 Ultra. And yeah, the S26 Ultra is rounded compared to the S25 Ultra, and that era like the S24 Ultra sharp boxier design is no more on S26 Ultra. On this note, if you're still here, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace out.